Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY. It is Saturday morning, and this is sponsored by Independent Bank as well as our friend Marianne Quist of Remax Central. We talk to community leaders on this program. We talk to people making a difference, and this is a really good one we've got for you for the next 30 minutes.
We've got a gem.
Right?
We've got a gem, Rich. We talk to people who are doing good things in our community, and we've got an A-team member right here with Doreen Lanc this morning. Welcome, Doreen.
Good morning. It's a pleasure being here with both of you.
Doreen is the executive director of the Cadillac Area Community Foundation.
Yes.
And can you talk a little bit about the thumbnail sketch about what the CACF is?
Oh, well, we have many funds, about 56 funds. They're all different kind. They could be scholarships. They could be donor advised. If there's somebody that has a passion for something, they will take out a fund, and the fund is there forever. That money is not taking out. It's endowed, and they can pay, use the interest of it. We have a spending policy of 5% right now. So that's what they use for their passionate ideas or nonprofits. It might be a project. You never know what it might be.
It's a way, Rich, for somebody to say thank you to Cadillac in perpetuity. Meaning this money is going to go back to the community year after year after year, even when they pass on. And Doreen and I actually worked on our latest scholarship.
Yes.
Can you tell everybody about that?
Yes, we're doing a Mike Filkins scholarship. He retired from the band this year at Cadillac High School. And we're really excited about it because it is for a band student that graduates from CAPS that is going on to be in music. And I'm really excited about this because we really don't have one that particularly is that.
What's exciting about this scholarship, too, is that when Doreen and I came up with the concept, we got with Carla Filkins first, and then we sort of surprised Mike with it, and then Mike tweaked it to be what he wants it to look like because he is so passionate. I mean, he might be the only teacher I've ever heard of in the history of education that invites all of the band seniors over to his home for dinner as a celebration and also for closure because he gets so close to those kids and they're like family to him.
Exactly.
But let's go back. Speaking of kids, can you tell Rich and I a little bit about your youth advisory board to the foundation?
Yes, we have 33 students each year, approximately, and we have 3 or 4 advisors. And they have $25,000 a year to spend on youth projects. And, their mission is to get out there and find out what the needs are for youth and what they're looking for, and then try to grant the money to them to do all kinds of projects in the community or at the school. It could be for technology. It could be for robotics. You never know what it's going to be.
What do these kids, what do they get excited about? And what are they passionate about?
These kids are very, very good. I mean, they read all the grants, they have questions, and they really discuss it.
Okay.
They, do they really need it? I mean, how many kids is it going to take care of, or how many people are going to be involved in this project?
Wow.
I mean, they're not going to spend $10,000 if it's only helping 1 or 2 kids. They want to spend $10,000 that's helping 100 kids. So they're very passionate about what they do.
Those are important questions.
Well, they are. And not only that, but I think this really takes a 15, 16, 17-year-old who has had a very insular life and shows them what the community, what it's like to be a good steward of the community.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that part of the aim of the group too?
It is. It is. They have some community service hours they have to do, and we do a lot of volunteering, and we usually do like a Culver's night or something. But our younger kids, it starts at 8th grade, and our younger kids are very involved. The 8th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade, because after they get in 11, 12, they get busy.
Right.
But those kids are the ones that really study this, and they come with very good questions.
Oh my goodness. And she travels with these kids. Can you imagine?
Yeah, you have in the past gone to conventions with them, right?
Yes. We have usually a convention every year. It's in Mount Pleasant, and we're down there for 3 or 4 days. And I usually have, in between 5 and 7 students that go with me.
Wow. Can you tell us, back to the foundation itself, can you tell us how COVID-19 has impacted donors and the folks that you serve? And what steps have you taken? How did you reframe everything?
We really jumped on it. We decided right in like February, the end of February, when it was hitting hard, it's like, we're going to take $50,000. We're going to put $25,000 in Missaukee County. We're going to put $25,000 in Wexford County. And we're going to make sure that the farmers markets or the food pantries or whatever is needed out there, we wanted to make sure that we took care of it right away. Community Hope out of Missaukee County has been doing a fabulous job. They opened like 3 or 4 food pantries in the Missaukee area.
Wow.
They are giving food out to over 350 families every week.
Amazing.
Love Inc. has been taking care of the money here. They're very good stewards of the money. I'm so happy that we chose them. They have been so good. They keep me very connected to everything that's going on. They've done a great job.
Wow.
You mentioned Missaukee County. So is there a separate foundation for Missaukee County that is connected with the Cadillac Area Community Foundation?
Yes, they're
Okay.
a component
Okay.
fund of ours, and I oversee the Missaukee Foundation also.
Okay. Very good.
She's everywhere, Rich. Let's talk about Doreen the person. You worked at the Chamber of Commerce in a management role for years, and then the Cadillac Area Community Foundation came and found you and hired you and recruited you. You've been so involved in the nonprofit community. What is Doreen doing today outside of the Cadillac Area Community Foundation? I know it's a lot, but what other projects are you involved in and leading?
I do grocery shopping on Mondays for the Harborview ladies. Usually it's all ladies, and they have their little grocery list for us, and they have pictures of what the cat food looks like, the can. It is
very specific.
It is,
brand.
You got to make sure that we get the right cat food.
Oh
And
my goodness!
It's very cute, and they're so humble, and they're so thankful, and they're so grateful. And last week we had a veteran. He could not find his DD 214. My hands are tied if I can't find the right paperwork. So we decided that we are going to move him ourselves. So 3 honor guards and my daughter and I, we went over and we moved him from a rental house into a trailer house.
I see.
Yeah.
Good. Where he maybe wouldn't have rent or expenses.
Right.
So, Doreen, I feel like if there's a problem in Cadillac, somehow people bring that problem to Doreen. How did that come to be?
I've been in fundraising for a long time, and I think you build a personality with people that they trust you.
Okay.
And you can ask for money because they know it's going to go to the right place, and they know 100% of it's going to go into it and not somebody's taking part of it. So I think that it's a trust in the community that I've built.
I see. And you partner people with people, don't you? You partner people with agencies. You're a conduit.
I do.
Okay.
I do. We did our strategic plan the year after I was there because I wanted to know the direction they were going in to make sure I was following it. And one of the things that we wanted to be is the hub of all resources. Well, they got their wish.
She's shopping for cat food, Rich.
Yeah, exactly.
You've passed this service onto your daughter, this spirit of service of helping other people, onto your daughter, Ashley. Ashley's a business owner in downtown Cadillac. She's just a ball of fire too, Rich. Can you tell us about how that happened?
I think both of my kids, since they were little, it was always something that we did together is we volunteered. And we always did Project Christmas together. And they needed to see that there's a lot of people that are less fortunate. Even though we didn't have a lot of money at that time, but they needed to see there was kids worse off. So we always had a family that we shopped for, and we picked up garbage with Rotary or at McGuire's, and we just did a lot of things together. So I think it just followed into the footsteps because, you know, my son lives in Grand Rapids, and he won't give money out, but he makes sandwiches for the people that are on the corner begging for money.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Peanut butter and jelly.
I love it. He goes marching down with his peanut butter and jelly and feeds people. He's his mama's boy.
Yeah.
Does anybody ever tell you no?
No.
That's funny.
No, they don't.
How
They're
do you say
very
no to
good.
Doreen Lanc?
You don't?
Yeah,
It's
right.
a bad idea.
Yeah. The
yeah.
problem is Doreen doesn't know how to say no.
I love it. Talk to us about your board.
Oh, I have a great board. I am very blessed with the board. They're very passionate about Cadillac. They know what's going on. They're very interested. And since the whole COVID thing, we haven't been meeting. We're doing it through a phone call, conference call. So every Friday I send them a little update of what's going on and what we've been doing at the foundation and, who we have been coming in front of and stuff. And they're always very grateful. That's like, hey, thanks. I'm glad that, we know, what's going on out there because a lot of people are working at home. They're not working from the office. So they don't see how many people that are at a food bank or how many people that, might need masks. We took masks to all the nonprofits. So they all had masks just in case they had cases that were coming in and stuff. So, I mean, they're very good. I love working with them. I didn't know when I left the chamber I could ever love anything as much as I did the chamber, but I think I found my spot.
Awesome.
So how does someone become a board member? What are you looking for, and how long are the terms?
The terms are 3 years.
Okay.
And I just asked 2 board members to take their last 3 years, and they both said yes to it.
Good.
We very seldom, I went back and looked, and I have not had a board member leave. And it's very seldom that a board member, doesn't complete the full 9 years. Wow. And what we look for is diversity. We want somebody from the medical field, from the health and services. We want the banker. We want the attorney. So we go out there and look for them. We hunt them down.
They don't say no.
And these are all people who are volunteering their time to make their community better.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Doreen, if money were no object, what would you like to see the foundation do to help Cadillac?
I think there's a lot of projects in Cadillac.
That is a probing question.
That's a loaded question. I think there's a lot of issues in Cadillac that people don't see.
Okay.
And, when I read scholarships like 102 this year, and I read their essays, and I had a young man 2 years ago that he was very clean cut, and he polo shirt, khakis. And when I read that he was homeless for 3 months and living in the parking lot that I park in every day, tears ran down my eyes because he was one of my Interact kids for Rotary, and I didn't know it.
Oh, my goodness.
So I think there's a lot of need that we don't know about that we're not seeing. Okay. And I think I would definitely, if I had as much money as I could have, I would be out there searching for all this.
Can you tell us, I know you've got a wonderful relationship with other nonprofit directors, and that there isn't, some communities you see people competing for dollars, competing for donors, competing for board members. It's the opposite here. Can you tell us about your relationship with the other nonprofit executive directors?
Oh, I welcome them in anytime they want. We make phone calls. I email them things. They have questions. If they're successful, I'm successful. We need to work together. And like United Way, Pat Goggin and I do a lot of things together. We partner on a lot of things. It's just whatever helps the community. It's not about getting more money than you or, I want that donor. How do I get him? It's more about what are we going to do about the community?
I see. And so there's a group, isn't there, that gets together to identify needs?
Yeah, I'm on about 5 of them.
She who cannot say no.
No, yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, there's several different ones. I'm very involved with the veterans. Veterans go way back in my family. I had 3 brothers in the service and lost 2. So
I'm sorry.
Veterans is, it's huge for me. So, anything they need, I'll find a way to do, even if I have to pay for it myself. But
so this is with this moving out this man. You didn't send it to another agency because you couldn't find his DD 214. So she rolls up her sleeves and does it herself, Rich. Yeah. That's what she does.
Yeah. And one day I sent my daughter to buy 4 tents because it was full blown COVID. Nobody would take them. We had 4 veterans that we could not get anywhere, and they said, "Well, we'll camp." So we went to Walmart's and we bought 4 tents. And we put them in a campground.
No kidding?
Yeah. So, and then I had a friend that donated sleeping bags and then food. So, you know what? All you have to do is ask. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't know. They think that there's not enough volunteers, but I think you just have to ask.
Right. Do you see the kids that started in your youth advisory still serving after they leave you?
Yes, very much. They get very involved in groups in the colleges and universities, and I still connect with a lot of them. They send me an email once in a while. They pop in if they're home on Christmas break. There's a couple of them that we go to breakfast together just because they were so good. We were together so much. We did so much volunteering. I mean, you know, you work all week, and like Friday and Saturday, you're at an event with students because we're volunteering.
Right.
So they become part of your life.
And they probably want to run things by you, too, and get your wisdom and expertise on next steps. I suspect some of these kids come to you for help.
Yeah, they do. And I have a couple of them that did not, I didn't see their scholarships come in. So I called them up and I said, I don't see a scholarship for you. And they're like, well, I don't think I qualify. I said, yes, you do. You need to fill out that scholarship.
Good job.
So I try to work with the schools as much as possible about the scholarships because they're so busy, the counselors and the teachers taking care of social issues with the students these days. I mean, there's lots of issues with students that I try to make sure that all our seniors have everything they need to fill out the scholarships and have them in hand.
Probably the most rewarding time of the year for you has to be that April, May time period when those scholarships recipients are selected.
It's great. The thank you notes, they signed Doreen. It's like the money came from me.
She's got a big bank account.
Yeah,
I know. It's like, thank you, Doreen. And you know what was really unusual about this year? I usually don't get parents calling or emailing or sending a note. I don't think I've ever got that. I might have got a thank you on the street or run into them in a grocery store. But this year, we had a lot of parents call and say, we really needed this. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. Think about it. I mean, people aren't making the same amount of money that they're used to making. There's people that have been laid off, that companies that have closed, that they don't, and now they're trying to send a kid to college.
It's a rough time. It is a rough time to be doing that.
Yeah, and they're so humble and they're so grateful. You know, and they think that I didn't think my student would be eligible. You know, he didn't fit the criteria totally, but I always tell them fill it out because really you have to do one major one and then you can copy the homework. These, you know, kids are pretty smart; they can get onto this. So, I mean, we give away a lot, over $100,000 this year in scholarships.
Incredible.
Cadillac Unscripted is sponsored by Marianne Quist of RE/MAX Central and Independent Bank. We will continue our conversation with Executive Director of the Cadillac Area Community Foundation, Doreen Lanc, in a moment on 107.9 CDY. Buying a home is still the great American dream. And yes, it can be an intimidating process. But you can rest assured and have confidence when the professionals from RE/MAX Central are in your corner to guide you through it. Marianne Quist of RE/MAX Central has helped hundreds of home buyers in and around the Cadillac area navigate the process over the years, and she's ready to help you too. From start to finish, from finding a home to submitting an offer, to understanding the purchase agreement, to inspections, surveys, and appraisals, to the time when you finally sit down and sign those closing documents, Marianne will be there. When you're ready to buy, talk to Marianne Quist at RE/MAX Central. See her listings at teamquist.com. Thanks for joining us in Cadillac Unscripted, 107.9 CDY, sponsored by Independent Bank and Marianne Quist of RE/MAX Central. We continue our conversation with Cadillac Area Community Foundation Executive Director, Doreen Lanc.
So if there are donors out there in the community that are looking for a place to give away their money and they don't want to have to handle it personally, could you tell us about the steps that they have to take to become a fund within the CACF?
Yes, you know, we have the donor advised fund. A lot of our donors want to choose to give where they want the money to go and how much. But they get the tax breaks. So a donor advised fund is set up and it's non-endowed. They can spend what they want. And then we have endowed funds. And, you know, I like to sit down with them, find out what their passions and wishes are to make sure that's in that agreement. So it's for the future. It's for after Doreen or after they're gone to make sure that the wishes are always granted.
Yeah, donor intent. When you say endowed, what that means, Rich, is only the interest can be spent on the money. If it's not endowed and, you know, donor advised, and the family could spend all the money in 1 year if they wanted. But if it's endowed, the principal balance remains within the fund and they're only spending the interest. And that's how it goes on in perpetuity. Amazing.
And that is an amazing way to honor someone's memory forever.
It is, yeah. And we always make sure that when we give out the scholarships, I did a lot of virtual scholarships this year, all over the county. But we always make sure that they know where that money came from. Like Mr. Pell had a store downtown, and he serviced the whole ISD school district. So his scholarship is for the ISD school district students, you know, because he wanted to give back to the whole county, not just CAPS.
Neat.
So it always has, you know, good reasoning behind it, and we want to make sure that student knows about it.
You've got an art scholarship too, don't you? I think, is that Dr. Lakin's scholarship?
Yes, we do. We have some art scholarships, and we have, you know, there's the dental. We have a dental scholarship.
Awesome.
We're choosing our student actually over the next couple of days.
Wonderful.
So yeah, a scholarship could be about anything. You make the criteria what you want it to be.
And the process really isn't as cumbersome as you would think.
No,
Really, you bring the idea to you and you kind of breathe life into it and make it happen, Doreen.
Yes, yeah. There's a huge one that we're working on right now, and it starts like in 8th grade, and that counselor follows that student up until graduation, and that is like a first year college out of a family that it's going to go to. It's very unusual, and there's a lot of criteria, a lot of paperwork to it, but I think it's going to be fantastic because it's going to give a student that has no family that ever graduated from college the opportunity to say, I can do this.
Oh, amazing.
Is that something that a counselor kind of keeps their eye on a student and follows them through their progress
Yes.
through junior high and high school?
Yes, the counselor will be involved, the teachers will be involved, the principal, of course. And then I even have the opportunity to meet with these kids a couple times a year to, you know, just to talk about the scholarship and where it's going.
You know, Doreen, at one point, and not so long ago, less than 25% of the people in Wexford and Meskwaki County had any type of secondary education, college, things like that. You could be moving the bar with all these scholarships. Think about it.
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
these families talk amongst each other, and it wasn't that hard. And,
Right.
you know, you could be giving people hope that never thought college was in the future for them.
Right. And I think a lot of kids that I work with as far as with the Rotary Interact, because we have no criteria. If they want to be a part of Rotary Interact, they're a part of it. So there's a lot of kids that, you know, I don't know if I'm going to go to college. And then, you know, I make sure that they get into a STEM camp where they get into something else and then they find their niche. And it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could do this.
Wow. Again, hope. You give them, you inspire them.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the STEM camps, how that came to be, and the CACF's involvement with that.
Yeah, that is the Women's Giving Circle
Okay.
That is a fund underneath us. And we started it probably 5 or 6 years ago at Central Michigan. And I rode the bus every day to Central with 12 girls.
Oh,
STEM
boy.
camp. I haven't been on a school bus in like 40 years. So it was very good. A lot of the girls came back and they were so excited. They learned science and they learned how to blow pop bottles up. And I mean, it was very interesting. They did a really good job, and they were the girls that said, I didn't know I could be so good at that. I didn't know I could, you know, retain this information.
Do you go into the classes with them?
I go in and take pictures and stuff. The one day they were making ice cream, that was like messy. I left.
It was a gong show.
Yeah, it was not good, but they were so excited. But then we ended up moving it to Baker College, which is great because that's a lot easier for the parents, get the girls there. It's a lot easier for us. But we did not have it this year, of course, because of the COVID. But it's been, the class has been filled. We are allowed 30 girls, and we've been filling it for the last 5 years. And every one of the girls have, you know, want to come back the next year, and they tell their friends about it. So it's a great program.
Are these non-traditional career roles for women that in these camps?
Yes,
Okay.
Definitely. And it's not your traditional student that's going to it.
Oh, boy.
It's a lot of the students are probably, you know, parents are looking at like, this is something you should do. I want you to do this. It's not that they want to do it. And then they end up loving it.
Then they come out of the experience thinking
Yes.
there might be a career track for them.
Right.
So you're telling me mom and dad maybe have identified skill sets that would apply to a career, and the kids going, I don't think so. I don't think I can do that, or I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
and then somehow they get them to you, and then they might change their mind.
Yeah, they do. And then, they get to go to Baker College. They think that's really cool. I'm going to a college for, less than a week, but they think it's really, cool. I go in and talk to the students. I talk to the 5th graders because I think it starts on 6. Or I talk to the 6th graders because it's the 7th grade that goes in. And they're always excited. And I usually bring, women in those careers from like Rec Boat or... it's Group Beneteau now, Avon Automotive or Avon Protection. I usually try to get somebody that's a chemist or an engineer. They go in and they talk to them. Yes, you can do this. You can make good money and you can live in a community like this and you can do very well with your family.
Isn't that? Do you sleep at night? Does she ever sleep?
I'm volunteering for all this stuff and doing all these things. I don't know how you sleep.
Right.
Yeah, my mind goes around a little.
Yeah. Do you have ideas that pop into your head sometime after you lay your head in the pillow and all of a sudden you got to get up and write it down, or you can't go to sleep because it's an idea that pops into your head?
I take notes constantly.
Okay.
My phone is full of notes.
Is it really?
Or if it's someplace, I'll call and leave a message on my answer machine at work.
Wow.
And then pick it up the next day.
Oh, my goodness. And, with you, so much of your work segues into your family and vice versa. I mean, the kids help with your projects, and that's just sort of the expectation. Is relax time the dogs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My 3 dogs, they're therapy dogs. They've been to school and everything, and I love them. And we do, we cuddle and we play in the yard. And, yeah, they're my no-brainer. I can just... the fluff. They're fluff.
So maybe that's your downtime. It's time with those dogs.
Yes. Definitely.
Oh, they're really, really cute.
In the couple of minutes we have left, 2, 3, 4 minutes that we have left, Doreen, why don't we talk a little bit about how people can learn more about the Cadillac Area Community Foundation, where they can go, a website, a Facebook page, anything like that?
Yeah, they can go to our website, which is CadillacFoundation.org. Facebook has a lot of pictures on it. I like a phone call. I like to just chat with people over a cup of coffee. It depends, I get a lot of phone calls that they're researching. And then we turn into, we're calling each other every week because something else comes up, or I forgot to tell you this, or what about this? So it turns into a relationship, and I think that's what you got to do is, people... when they're giving you that amount of money, you have to build a relationship and a trust with them.
Which
Absolutely.
You have done.
Yeah, I had one lady, it actually made me feel kind of funny about it. I had one lady from Lake City that said, so what happens when you're not here? And it really made me think. And I even take better notes now than I ever did.
That gave me the shivers. Sure. We don't want to think about that.
Yeah, but it was because she said, you're so enthusiastic and I definitely want to work with you and I want to make sure that we can do this fund. But she goes, what happens when you're not here?
Wow. That was a mouthful. That was a compliment.
It was a compliment, but it was also scary.
Right? There's a lot in that head.
Yeah.
Well, and Linda Kimball had this job before you did.
Yes, she did. And Linda and I are good friends. So.
Yeah. And there will be a day, someday, when Doreen decides to retire and someone will take up the reins.
I don't ever see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
No, we're going to drag you kicking and screaming out of this job.
Yeah, they'll have to throw me out at this point.
Don't bet against her. Doreen Lanc from the Cadillac Area Community Foundation, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you so much for your passion that you put into Cadillac.
Well, thank you for the invitation. This was nice.
And Cadillac Unscripted is sponsored by Independent Bank as well as Marianne Quist of Remax Central. Same time, same station next week for some more local chat on Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY.